Most Bible reading plans that you get is like, I'm going to read the Bible through in a year. And so they attach like a day with a whole bunch of scriptures that you need to be reading for that particular day. What we've found is that two problems occur with that. One is that people just race through the day. They just race through their reading. They don't get anything out of it because they just know they have to finish. And so they don't stop along the way to figure out, what they just read, but they check off a box and they're like, phew, I got that done. So we kind of want that to stop. The second thing is that, and I hear this all the time, people get really discouraged. They get discouraged if they're like, well, I'm 2 weeks behind. And then they never feel like they can catch up, so they don't even try. And so then they just quit. And so this summer, Rob and I were talking, and we said, something's got to change with that, because we want people to love reading their Bible and to really get so much out of it. So we decided to make this journal. And what it is it's a Bible reading program in a journal, but you go at your own pace. So what happens is if you're confused at something, you stop and you go figure out the answer. And because it's not tied to a day or a year, each reading is completely on its own. So, for instance, if you start reading this and you hit Genesis 1:26, here's what it'll say. Then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Now, most people will just blow by that, but I want you, if that confuses you, to stop and then figure out, well, what does that mean? Who is us? And what does it mean to be in God's image? And that's what we want you to do with this particular journal. You stop, you figure out the answer, you can write things down, because we want you to learn, and then you can move on from there. This is how it is. Oh, here's two really good places for you to learn answers, gotquestions.org. And I just found this new one, BibleRef.com. It is phenomenal. It's a commentary, and I think it's put out by Got Questions. They're not completely done with it yet, but it's well worth going on there. If you just type in the whatever, Genesis 1:26, and it'll help you figure out what all that means. So the goal is not to, just read through to get through it. The goal is to learn something and let God change you from the inside out. So here's how this is set up on the inside. You have 4 different readings that you can do. You have one Old Testament, one New. You've got Psalms and Proverbs. So it's kind of like when you're done reading the first group, you just check it off. And if that's the only thing you get to that day, because it's not tied to a day, you're not frustrated and you're not like, I can't do this. Now, what this journal does is that when you are finished with the entire journal and you do it the way it says it, what that means is you've read through the entire Bible once, and you have an additional option to read Proverbs 10 additional times and Psalms an additional 1. So if you do it exactly the way it is. Now, Rob is like a total Proverbs guy, but I'm not. So I made it through my Proverbs 31, and then when it showed up again, I just didn't do it. But you can. I'm a Psalms girl, so I will always read Psalms a million different times. So it's set up to where you can do whatever you want to do. Now, how we're doing that, for those of you that are here at Bible study, they're $10 over here. And for those of you that are watching us online or however you found us, you can go to Women's Bible Study. Do I have it on here? Yeah. womensbiblestudy.com. You click on the bookstore. They're $10 at Bible study here. They're $14.99 online. And the reason for it is because we have to ship it to you. So that's what the big cost is. So, all right, we wanted to get that out to you because a lot of people had no idea, and they were writing going, I don't understand what these journals are about. So now everybody knows. There you go.